Hi friends, as some of you may know, I'm running the Chicago Marathon on October 13. This will be my third marathon and also my third time being a charity runner. My first marathon was in 2017, in which I supported the Great Lakes Adaptive Sports Association, GLASA. And last year and this year, I am running on behalf of the American Cancer Society, ACS. With the marathon coming up in a month, I just wanted to pop in to share my running journey and why I'm supporting ACS again for this year's marathon. My running journey started around 2014 when I was going through a rough patch in life. Um, I was in a very confusing time in my mid 20s. I was trying to figure out my career, my relationships, and honestly, I just didn't have a clear direction of life at that time. What I did know though is that I needed to pick up a new hobby, just a different activity that would just serve as a distraction. I had a couple of running friends with whom I would occasionally run turkey trots with. So I think running a 5K that Thanksgiving started my journey to love running. Now, when people think of running, they usually think of the act of running, but what I love most is the mental aspect. What I've learned is that what you put into it is also what you receive. And that's so applicable when you're training for a half or full marathon. Running is a slow burn. If you're a beginner, it can take months until you find your rhythm, but when you do get to a point where it starts feeling comfortable, then you realize that it's not the worst thing in the world. You love it because there's no other sport that thrives on solitude. And it's in those miles when you're running by yourself that you start feeling in awe of yourself and what you're actually capable of doing. You start applying that mental toughness to other aspects of your life, therefore, encouraging resilience, confidence, and an attitude of gratitude for who you are and knowing that you can attain those goals that you never thought you could. When I signed up for my first marathon, I didn't know anything about running for charity or becoming a charity runner. I just remember being at an expo and there were charity tables recruiting runners to fundraise. I signed up the next day. The work that they do is so impactful that I eventually started working in the nonprofit sector, eventually becoming senior manager of charity partnerships at the Chicago Area Runners Association. This was a really fun, very meaningful, very exhausting time in my life, but I met the best people. This was also the time that I learned about ACS. I would often go to their social events in which they would do presentations about the work that they were doing to support cancer patients and their families. American Cancer Society is the leading cancer fighting organization that works to improve the lives of cancer patients and their families through advocacy, research, and support. ACS encourages prevention, addresses cancer disparities, and are part of a global network whose mission it is to eventually end cancer. We all know someone who's been affected by cancer, whether it's a friend, relative, simple acquaintance. And we all know how life-changing it can be. My mother-in-law passed away from cancer about 15 years ago. My good friend, who is now in remission, was diagnosed with breast cancer during COVID. And my best friend's husband passed away 2 years ago from esophageal cancer. He was in his late 30s. I have family members who had cancer who were able to beat it and live healthy lives. We know there's nothing good about cancer, but there are people and organizations who are trying to do good, and ACS is one of those organizations. Please consider supporting ACS and supporting my fundraiser. The fundraising deadline is coming up on October 1st, and any amount is truly appreciated. And if you can't donate at this time, which I totally understand, please consider donating to a charity of your choice when Giving Tuesday rolls around. Thank you.